Morning.
Yeah.
I'll call you after.
Good morning, recruiting gym junkies. I hope you're well. Hi, Alan. We're all talking about finding our call today. So Claire's laughing. I'm laughing. And you've got two middle-aged people trying to work their way around tech this morning. So what's great is that as you do these live shows regularly, you start to realize what you must go through when you are in TV production and the chaos that's going on behind the scenes. And once the camera starts rolling, you got to go, morning. What you don't see is everyone like ducking below the camera and hiding out. And to the outside world, it looks perfect. So I worked out of the office yesterday and my webcam was in my bag. So basically between me setting up my webcam, Claire getting logged in, we literally got set up about 60 seconds ago. So we made it, Claire. High five.
High five. Well done.
So this situation works perfectly for today because we're talking through three topics today. The first one is finding your cool when you've lost it. Secondly, harnessing brainwaves. And thirdly, how do you find balance when you live and work in the same place? So Claire, let me tell you a story, and you can coach me this morning.
Okay.
So because I'm sure you've got 4 kids, so I'm a lucky one with only 2. But have you ever found that like within about 10 minutes of waking up, you can be absolutely raging? Like,
oh yeah,
you woke up and it was a fresh start. And within 10 minutes, like your head is just an explosion of anger. So that was my first pretty much 2 hours today with 2 of my boys niggling each other non-stop.
Yep.
Oh, dearie me. So Claire, I've totally lost my cool today.
Sounds familiar. Don't worry, Alex.
So how do we go about getting our call back? Because sometimes it's candidates, sometimes it's clients. Well, what's the process we should go through?
So, Alex, something I put into practice during COVID is actually every morning meditating. And I found 10 minutes of meditation has really helped me focus for the day, be on track, and really be relaxed and in myself so that I'm not losing my cool.
So help me with meditation, because meditation makes me feel like I should be wearing sort of like dark reds, purples, baggy trousers, sitting with my legs crossed, singing a bit of Kumbaya. So what demystify meditation for me in a world that makes way for a random bloke.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story about 10 years ago. A friend of me suggested meditation, and the reason was I just had my 4th child and we were going through a pretty rough time at that time, and my head was everywhere, probably like a lot of people during COVID-19. So when she suggested to me, I thought, what are you talking about? I don't have time to meditate. That's ridiculous. And over the years, I've thought about it, done it a little bit, but not really put it into practice. I have a little bit at the end of my yoga classes, but not really that much. But at the beginning,
that 2 minutes of asana at the end of yoga classes is me.
It's only about 2 minutes.
It's me winding my brain back up from the yoga class to the
definitely. So at the beginning of COVID, at the beginning of April, I decided to do a 21-day challenge on meditation for 10 minutes a day. And it's changed my life. I do it every morning. There are loads of apps.
Which app are you using, Claire?
Well, funnily enough, I'm not using an app. I'm actually going on to YouTube and just typing in meditations, 10 minutes guided meditations. But the apps, they're ones like Calm, Meditation. There's a few others. I can't think of them. So just Google apps for meditation.
Do you do the same? Do you do the same meditation every day, or do you do a different one every day?
I do a 10-minute guided, and there's loads of them on YouTube. So I just pick a different picture every day.
Right. Okay, that's cool. And I'm this weekend. On the recommendation of Alan Clark, one of the coaches in the gym. He's got a chakra mat. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
And it's one of these mats with like plastic spikes on. My kids keep hiding it in my wife's bed.
Oh, really?
So
that sounds like you and your wife have got separate beds. So is they hiding in your bed on her side?
No. Okay, they're hiding it in my wife's side of the bed.
Right. That's what I thought.
That's the phraseology there. So that's a bit like saying my current wife.
Yes. Yeah.
Terry Wogan didn't he call his wife his current wife, even though it was his only wife?
Oh, really?
I've got a friend that always introduces his wife as his first wife, which implies there's a second, but
yeah, never know. Never know.
So that doesn't help his wife's call. So cool. Okay, so what you're telling me is I need to lie down for 10 minutes after the Learning Live. And
not necessarily lying down. Some people sit. Sometimes I lie on my side on the sofa. Just whatever suits you, as long as you're still. I've also heard of a chocolate meditation, a guided chocolate meditation where you have to eat the chocolate very slowly.
I've heard of a gin and tonic meditation.
Oh, that'd be good.
And a Chardonnay meditation.
Yeah. Tonight's Friday. Let's do that for the weekend.
So, I interviewed an author of a book called recently, and it was called Physical Intelligence. And what they recommended was even just 10 minutes a day, breathing in and out at the same rhythm. And
that was Claire Dial, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So, which is good. So you got Jason Stevenson. I'll try him. I'll try him out in the next little bit. So I think we got some ways to find my core. And you know what, Claire? Actually, probably the easiest way to not lose your cool is actually now to just talk about it. One of the reasons I love the stand-up is, and especially ours on Fridays, we sort of share how you're feeling. And my wife and I this morning took a little walk around the garden because we're lucky enough to have one, and we were like, how are we going to reset the day? We had a bit of a laugh, and then I tripped her up.
That's another way. Have some me time. Go for walks. There's so many ways we can do this.
Yeah, well, I found myself, a lot of people are clearing out the other day, and I found an apple press. So I thought one of the ways to meditate would be to put my son's head in the apple press and just turn slowly.
You didn't say that, okay?
Of course not. Of course not. His head wouldn't fit in anyway. It was only a very little one. So, cool. Okay, so the next thing is that in one of the ways to get through a tough market, Angela Cripps and I were talking yesterday about a recession mindset, and we were talking about sort of different ways to innovate during a recession. And I had a really cool brainwave, and it made me feel brilliant. And so what role do you think be allowing yourself time to be creative in solving your problems? What does that play in helping yourself de-stress and be in the right mindset?
I love the fact that you brought this up, because something I've been talking to my kids about is the fact that having this headspace has helped us all to be creative. So as you know, Alex, there are times I get up early in the morning to do my work, and at times I just sit at my computer and just think. And it's giving me that headspace. So headspace is very important to be creative.
Yeah. And I think allowing yourself a space to come up with crazy ideas.
Yeah.
And Angela, we were talking about we obviously were live streaming, and I came up with a brainwave, which was, when you get those niche candidates that that lots of clients are going to be interested in. I thought instead, like, a different level of candidate marketing is promote a live stream interview of your candidate.
Great.
So you go to your candidate. Look, I'm going to interview you. We're going to talk about the cool stuff that you do. We're going to talk a little bit about you for 15 minutes. We're just going to learn about you and your experience. But the difference is we're going to live stream it. And what we're going to do is we're going to promote that live stream, and hopefully people sign in to find out about you, and then they contact us because they want to interview you. So I'm trying to find a recruiter that thinks they have a candidate that's looking for a job, and I want to live stream that candidate interview. I can support.
Great idea.
I can find
someone here. Come on, get your chat going.
I can find you. I'll support all the technology. What you need is a candidate where they've got a skill set in demand. So there has to be a demand for it. And what we'll do is we'll prep the candidate, and we will promote it to your client base to say, hey, I'm interviewing one of these. Brilliant. This is Claire, and she does this, and that. And we'll see if we can get a few clients logging in. No one will see the clients because we use like a Crowdcast type platform. And from there. And then the next brainwave was we live stream a vacancy briefing.
Great idea.
So when we're taking the vacancy briefing, what we do is we email our candidates that we think could be relevant and saying, I'm live streaming a vacancy briefing, log in, ask the client questions. So if anyone's got a client that is really trying hard to recruit for a role, struggling to attract the candidates that they want, I'd love to work with you to live stream a client interview.
I love this idea. It's brilliant.
I just think that's just putting it out there, right? It's sort of, and you can go to your candidates. We are interviewing this client. They're recruiting for this role. We don't want you to trust our word. We're interviewing the client live.
And it's something recruitment companies can do with their teams. Have these creative Zoom calls, not just team meetings. Let's think of creative ways of doing things.
Yeah, exactly. So those are my brainwaves yesterday, inspired by Angela. And it was good.
Love it.
And it was really uplifting just having a creative idea and thinking through it. You know what? It may never go anywhere. I may never find anyone that wants to do it. But it's it's a cool. I just figured it'd be a really different way. I don't think any other agencies are doing it. And then also, if those candidates do attend, they're active in the market because they signed up for the live stream. So, and you can make it password protected, so other agencies don't. Oh, it's just brilliant!
I love it. Love it.
I hope someone's up for it. So cool. So last but not least, Claire, we're talking about finding balance. We're all living in the office at the moment, and that sort of stuff. Any tips and techniques for finding balance to be able to switch off from work when you're basically living in your office?
I was actually talking to a solicitor this week, and what he does, back to meditation, instead of his trip into work, he meditates in the morning and meditates in the evening. So in the morning for 10 minutes before he goes into work, and in the evening for 10 minutes going home. So that gets him into the mood and gets him out of the work mood as well.
Right. Okay. And so, I mean, meditation is just a way of basically getting your mind connected to almost an unconscious stream of thought. So that could be just a fast walk for 10 minutes. It could be. So that's where I know mindfulness was the word of the day over the last couple of years. But I always, what I've learned mindfulness is basically finding an activity that you lose yourself in.
Yes.
At the beginning and end of the day. So my wife and I love jigsaws. So we're about to go through our last jigsaw. So
Oh, I've got some. I'll pop them at your door.
Where we go through probably 3 or 4 jigsaws a week, but you'd be able to go down and just lose yourself in the jigsaw. That helped. That was one of the things that helped me chill out this morning.
Yeah. Good.
Twitching. So,
I might be going out in the garden, having a run, going for a walk around the block, anything to lose yourself to get into work and lose yourself to get out of work.
Yeah. So, indeed. So, Julia, before we ask, Julia's basically said, my clients' potential clients would nick a candidate if I sent a live stream. Maybe. I mean, I think the way you would do it is like Crowdcast. So what you would do is they'd have to sign up, and within the sign up form, just like everyone that signs up here, you click to accept our terms of business. I think what you would do is you would have a click which basically says, by signing up to this webinar, you accept our terms of business and the introduction of this candidate. And then there's a link to your terms of business. And so I wouldn't make it an open live stream. I would make it a closed live stream where people register, and by registering they accept they accept sort of the terms and that sort of stuff. So that's probably what I do, because I think you're right, Julia. Like if you live streamed it on LinkedIn, you wouldn't trust half the world, would you? So but I think if you made it closed and you could promote it, and every time someone signs up, you cross-reference the name against LinkedIn to check they're not another recruiter or someone like that. But it's a bit more than anything, it's lead generation. It's lead generation. Think about that. Your LinkedIn feed. Today, I'm going to be live streaming. I've got a webinar where I'm going to be interviewing a .NET developer that's done A, B, and C. If you want to see what they've done and find a .NET developer with a personality, sign up here. So it's almost like signed up webinars. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I need to find an agency that's up for that. So, which is cool. No worries. Well, Claire, you have a fantastic weekend.
You too. Relax. Switch off. That's another way.
I've got 5 tons of gravel to shift this weekend, and then the driveway's done as well. So, which is good. But I do, to be fair, I find that very relaxing. So, it's another mindless physical task. So,
and workshops, they're still every Wednesday.
Still got your workshops every Wednesday, and also you've got your show on Mondays.
Mondays, so very exciting.
Monday,
Martin Grady, he's from the Thrive team, talking about self-care in recruitment. 2:00.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Claire. See you soon. Take care now.
Thanks a lot. Bye. Bye.
Bye.